the idea of grace, giving each other gifts, is obviously essential, but it can't be sustained. Like, you can only go so long. Just, I'm going to give you the gift of assertiveness or being pushy, or you can only go so long of just like, okay, I'm gonna let this problem float for a while until you feel more comfortable. After, like, giving the gift that is contrary to both of your needs, I can do it once and I can do it twice, but I can't stay there forever. It's like I can jump into the cold lake and get out pretty quick, but I'm gonna jump in. But I can't stay there because I can't survive in that environment too awful long. Trevor, have you ever encountered difficulty with being the pushy guy outside of your relationship in your marriage and outside of like home stuff? Just has pushiness ever been a time where pushiness didn't pay off for you?
I mean, yeah. I guess little things like, I don't know if this would even count, but if I have to get somewhere in a hurry and there's like traffic, or if if I have to get something from the store and it's only one item, but every single checkout lane is crowded with people. Yeah. Or it's little things like that where, sometimes, I could, not accidentally, but because I'm so pushy, I say something out loud and somebody will hear, and then,
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that I realize sometimes I'm just like,
Yeah.
it just drives me crazy.
I'm laughing because your words I'm imagining the situation. If I was in the room watching someone misunderstand you, like, just thinking, yeah, I could see their reaction, and I could see how, like, oh my, like, what do I do in the parking lot? And I can't get out. I'm stuck.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay. Madison, has quiet and needing to withdraw ever been problematic? Produced situations where, like, this just doesn't work well for you?
Yeah. A lot of times, if conflict arises with someone, like, for example, when I was in school, if I had to work on a group project and work with people that I didn't necessarily get along with, and I had to do something like kind of teamwork oriented, if I disagreed with something or something was said that offended me, I just kind of withdrew, and then eventually people started kind of walking all over me, and it became a pattern.
Yeah. Okay.
Things like that, because I don't address conflict or issues all the time.
Yeah. And then that getting walked on, like, produced a whole set of negative experiences, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like I just got ran over.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's, what do you hear from the other person right then?
I guess what I'm hearing right now is, even though that our her being quiet, my being pushy is a part of us, we don't like it, because sometimes it could be a crutch, especially in situations like mine or like hers. It doesn't help the situation.
And I would say also that we are not the only ones being affected by the behavior that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, other people can sense his pushiness, and other people can sense my closed offness. Mm-hmm. So we're not the only two that are experiencing.
Yeah, and I'm going to read in the lines there, like, 3 children. Like that see mom or dad act in a certain way and not act in another way. Like, and like they see you maybe being there and helpful and attending, but then withdrawn and disengaged and unavailable. Or they see you like a guy who's gonna get things done, but maybe gonna get things done at their expense. Maybe just kind of roll over them. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So now here's the justice part of marriage. That we've just given each other gifts. I'm going to give you this thing that you are saying that you need. I need to be pushy, and I need to be accepted as the pushy man. I need to be quiet, and I need to be accepted as the self-soothing woman. But don't make me stay there, because I'm not full and I'm not complete, and it's I can't just be that person. I have to grow. And a just person is I can be that self-soothing, quiet, withdrawn, and the word we used was that person alone. And I can also be the person that isn't bent out of shape when you become pushy, or that can become pushy herself every once in a while. Or a justice here is like, yes, I need to be accepted as the pushy person, but please don't let me just stay there and not mature beyond that. We give you the grace to be that person, we expect you to grow beyond it at the same time.
So it's like another way of accepting, I guess, each other's, like her being alone and my pushiness is a part of us. And are you saying that we need to like accept that in each other more? And
yeah, here's the delightful part. You accept it, that's grace. And you expect more. That's justice. And that being the standard for both of you. Your oldest child, his name, her name? Josh. And how old?
13.
Tell me 1 or 2 qualities about Josh.
He's really smart, like above his reading level in school, and he has a lot of friends.
Okay. And tell me 1 or 2 deficiencies. What does Josh not do?
doesn't listen all the time. Typical 13-year-old boy, but yeah, sometimes now that he's a little bit older, it's kind of, sometimes he wants to do his things his way, and he won't listen.
He's pretty independent.
Got it. Okay. So for Josh, you say, Josh, we love you, we accept you, we're proud of you, like, we embrace you totally. But we're not going to accept you as a 13-year-old maturity level kid. We expect you to be able to grow up here. So to one another, Madison, Trevor, I accept you, said both ways. I accept you alone and quiet. I accept you pushy. And even to yourselves, I accept myself as this. These 2 things. But I also recognize that that's not where I'm supposed to stay my whole life. That if all I am is a quiet and alone person, then I'm always going to feel run over. Or if all I am is a pushy and assertive person, then I'm always going to feel impatient. So the marital task that both of you have to engage in is, I feel accepted by my spouse. She understands the nature, the source of this pushiness that I show. I feel accepted by my spouse, and he supports my need to be alone. And he or she has moved beyond that with me to say that's just not where I'm going to stay my whole life. What do you hear there?
It sounds like equal parts acceptance of the person that your childhood has shaped you to be, and also a challenge for the future, to be more open to other personality types, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, if not personality types, more the development of greater qualities.
Yeah.
I can do that. Your personality type is something kind of fixed, but the skill set that you have, the way you cope with circumstances, that can change. It's like we want to create other ways for you to defend against pain. The quiet and alone one, that's fine, but if that's all you do, it's not going to work. The pushiness, that's fine, but if it's all you do, that's just not going to be sufficient. And it's like early in your marriage, you guys understood that. But you've diverted to rely on just that one set of defenses. And we have to expand them. Okay? So, an alternative assignment is I have to exercise, I'm going to speak for you, Trevor, I have to exercise a response style different than pushiness. Give me one or two that you need to do instead of that one.
I guess instead of pushy, maybe I guess be a little more reserved, maybe patient.
Do you know anybody in the world that knows something about reserve and patience who could teach you a little bit about it? Anybody in your life that knows something about quiet and calm and maybe patience and alone? And I'm being just like drippy cynical here, because if you can't answer that question, then boy, we need to go back to square one with kindergarten therapy.
I guess, yeah, she can.
Yeah. You have married a great teacher that can teach you the very things that you were wanting to learn.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Madison, what's a different skill set that you have to learn?
To be more proactive and a go-getter, and
Yeah.
I guess goal-oriented and problem solver.
And the obvious part there is, do you know anybody that can teach you something about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the task here is, I'd like you to set up a series of goals that are slightly uncomfortable for you. And you to set up a series of goals that are slightly uncomfortable for you. And share them with one another. Here's what I'm trying to do this week, beyond alone and beyond pushy, things that are outside of your typical pattern. And your job is to coach her, and your job is to coach him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And this is only clear when we've already made sure that we've given you space to be alone, and we've given you space to be pushy. That acceptance has been established. Now we're going to move to the next step. Okay?
Okay.
Questions or thoughts about that task?
Sounds doable.